Hi there, welcome to another supplemental entry for my Gnostic vlog. And first of all, I'd like to apologise because I know that it's a bit naff going on about one's dreams because, you're going to say, well, that's all very well for you, but what's in it for us as the poor, long-suffering viewers? But I think it has some relevance to Gnosis and therefore to perhaps to some or many Gnostics, and so therefore I don't really have to apologise for including a dream. But anyway, it was a very long, detailed, lucid dream with colours and even sensations to the body and everything. Brilliant. I have a lot of dreams like that at the moment. But this one was quite interesting because it was really, to cut a long story short, it was basically a departure lounge, let us say, in a busy airport. And you know how it is with departure lounges. Well, when you leave, you go through security and you go through customs and things like that. But this had security and customs like no other airport I've ever encountered. And I mean, we all know that we're all treated like cattle now whenever we fly, which is possibly why airports and airlines are feeling the pinch because it's just so horrible to travel now. And you're made to feel so wretched and dirty and scummy and like you're an evil terrorist or something, and it's got ridiculous. Even to travel across the USA, you're made to feel like this, and and in the good old days, you just used to jump on a plane like you jump on a bus. And now you've got all the security. Well, in my dream, the security was nuts, and the customs was nuts as well. I mean, they checked everything. They checked your footwear, and you had to have the right footwear. They checked herbaceous plants that you were carrying through. People seem to be carrying through herbaceous plants, sort of plants that you find indoors, and they were checking them to see if they conform to some standard, which was never set down, by the way. So also cakes that you were taking through, they were checking them to see if they conformed to some kind of standard. So it was absolutely crazy. Everything, your luggage, your hats, these plants you were taking through, cakes, footwear, your personal clothing, and lots of other things that people wanted to take through to the airport, to the departure lounge to get on the plane, and they were literally just checking everything. And you were basically going down this long conveyor belt, really, which took you through all these different departments, security and customs departments. And so it went on, just endless queues of people being checked and filling in paperwork and I don't know what all. So, bureaucracy had gone completely insane, sort of in a sort of Kafka kind of style. Anyway, so this carried on, and occasionally, and the sort of conveyor belt would take you through this long plastic tunnel, glass tunnel. And there's also cafes and restaurants along the way because people got so tired of queuing that they want to stop and have something to eat or drink, just to sustain themselves throughout this bureaucratic nightmare. And outside this the airport was obviously on the coast, and there were these huge waves coming in, crashing in, and crashing in, but they didn't because people were protected by the glass domes, but sometimes the waves came underneath the glass domes and sort of swept up and covered your ankles with seawater. But and also the staff were also moaning about the fact that they were getting drenched from time to time by these massive waves that were coming in and hitting these glass domes and being knocked back. But some of the water would come underneath, as I said, so it was all sort of pretty nightmarish like that. And say there's long conveyor belts taking the passengers to what is supposed to be the aircraft departure lounge, to get on the aircraft to get out of here. I was thinking about this dream afterwards, and it occurred to me that it's interesting. It has sort of a Gnostic flavour to it, because I suppose, in allegory, I suppose that the departure lounge and the aircraft is the way out of this world, to the ineffable world beyond, and that's what we were all heading towards. We're all on this conveyor belt, as soul, heading towards the way out of this world. But on the way out, we encounter this incredible bureaucracy, the incredible security, incredible customs, checking our luggage, basically, and checking what we're carrying, and checking everything about us and where we've come from, and the whole bang shoot of security. And fingerprints, and I don't know, and arm prints. they were taking they were taking prints of different parts of the body, I think, as well, at one point. So this was sort of carrying on, and I kind of felt that this was the security, and these customs people were a bit like the archons, and the guardians of this world. But it seemed to me that what they were really checking for is that you didn't take any forbidden baggage with you onto the aircraft, which is fair enough in real life, I suppose, and no dangerous or threatening or violent items onto the aircraft, which is also fair enough. But it seemed to me that it was a bit like, we were being scrutinized and checked for everything, and this was a bit. I took this to mean that, that when we get to the ineffable realm, we ought not to have too much baggage with us, or indeed any baggage, really. We should be just pure soul. But on the other hand, we're not going to be just pure soul, the innocent soul that came into this world situation originally. Because in order to experience the ineffable realm, we're going to have something of the consciousness that we have now, which presents the whole cosmology with a bit of a paradox. Because on one hand, we need to be pure soul, and we need to be aware of soul in order to get out of here. But on the other hand, we don't want to leave here unless we leave with a certain amount of our consciousness, which will enable us to experience over there, to experience the ineffable. But the trouble is that this consciousness, the consciousness which is not soul, has to be suitably purified of all the baggage and all the things that it can't take into the ineffable realm. So in that sense, it's a paradox, because we are as we are. I won't say the word sullied, but I suppose I could say that. The soul is sullied by all its experiences of scarcity and superficiality and craziness of this world, and yet it's got to take some of it. On the basis of these experiences, we have a consciousness which enables us to experience things, which perhaps soul doesn't have the power to do, you see. So we have to, it's like we got soul, and then we have to take a certain amount of our consciousness from this world with us into the ineffable realm. But of course, we can't take everything with us. We can't take negativity with us. We can't take all the obstacles with us that we have now, that we experience in our interior lives now. So that maybe this world is also a world of purification. It's like the impurities of our consciousness are burnt away by karma, I suppose, if you want to call it that, or by our experiences. And these archons, this security, this customs, all these departments are there to take out all the baggage that we can't take with us onto the airplane, you see, onto the aircraft. So this would seem to suggest to me that in fact there is a process of purification to be undergone, despite the fact that ostensibly all we need to do is to concentrate on soul, on our soul, inner soul, and that will be pure enough to take us to the ineffable realm. But perhaps if we're going to retain some part of us which is able to appreciate the ineffable realm of heaven, we're going to have a sort of purified consciousness, which is outside soul, which is not part of the original package that came into the world. And if this is true, then I suppose really, it does seem that a hermetic process of purification is necessary, and perhaps the experiences on this earth, in this world, in this dimension, are there to purify our consciousness in order for it to go with the soul into the ineffable realm beyond. So obviously my subconscious is battling with this concept, because to me it seems that cannot happen, that you have to go into soul awareness, and it will be soul that will be going into the ineffable realm inevitably, without the consciousness that we have presently. So the consciousness that we have at the moment is merely there to become aware of soul, and then when it has become aware of soul, then the soul will be somehow liberated from this world. So the function of our present consciousness is merely to become aware of soul, and it doesn't actually go beyond that. But in this dream, it seems to me that it suggests that there is a function. Our consciousness actually performs a greater function than merely becoming aware of soul. It has to go with the soul, or in a purified state, into the realm of soul and God together. So this is an interesting conundrum that my subconscious and my conscious is working on at the moment, and I don't really have the answer, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't know whether purification is the right word. I don't know whether, I can appreciate that, that if soul is of very limited consciousness, even though it's very pure and very innocent, that we might have to take some part of our present consciousness with us in order to appreciate the ineffable world, in a conscious, discerning way, which the soul perhaps doesn't have, isn't capable of. You see, the soul is like has a baby consciousness, and babies do laugh and appreciate things, and obviously respond to love and kindness, but do they have an actual insight into what's going on around them? Perhaps they don't. And as they grow up, they gain this discerning consciousness, and perhaps we need to have this mature discerning consciousness in order to enter the ineffable realm alongside the soul. And but I don't know. I'm not quite sure of the function of our consciousness, and the function indeed of meditation and meditating on soul awareness. Maybe it has a really far-reaching function, a far-reaching consequence that we are not actually aware at this time. The consequence, or the implication of my dream is that we do need some kind of regimen of purification of our thoughts, in readiness for this departure from this particular world, from this particular dimension. Or it could simply mean that there are forces which are preventing us from leaving, and all this security and bureaucracy and customs and all these rules and regulations about what we can and cannot take onto the aircraft are simply there to keep us from going onto the aircraft. Meanwhile, we're going down this conveyor belt of checks and counter checks and double checks, and the waves of emotion and karma and action and consequence are still pressing in on us. I mean, I've had dreams with waves before, and it's it's foreboding dream to have, because I normally, after dreaming of waves and tidal waves and tsunami, I normally have an uncontrollable fit of rage, which follows that dream. So I'm always a bit afraid now when I see a choppy sea, because I think that represents emotions that I can't keep control of, because I have trouble dealing with emotions. Perhaps I'm sort of mildly autistic or something, and I can't deal with emotions like other people can. They totally overwhelm me. But that kind of a sort of a psychological point, a personal point to me. But I just think that maybe you could interpret this dream however you want, but maybe you could interpret this dream actually of all the obstacles that are in front of us whilst we're trying to get on the aircraft to take us out of this dimension, and we have all these obstacles in front of us. But we basically just have to keep on. Have to stick with it. We have to keep on traveling down this conveyor belt and putting up with all this security and bureaucracy and what have you, which might put us off. Might say, "Oh, I'm going to go home now." In fact, I think I'm right in saying that some of the passengers decided to go home because they couldn't stand all the checks and all the bureaucracy. So you could say that's the demiurge and his followers putting people off from actually leaving, from actually getting on the aircraft, a spirit, as it were. So anyway, I just thought I'd sort of drop this dream on you, and I won't do too many dreams because I realise that dreams are very annoying. Other people's dreams are annoying to you, because you will say, "Well, what's this to me?" Sort of thing. Gnostic is an individual path, and you have a dream about your Gnostic path. Why should I take any notice of your dream when I'm on a different path to you? But I think our paths do cross from time to time, and I think that we can share data of our own paths along the way, and that could be useful to other pilgrims. So I hope this has been useful to you. But as I say, I won't make a habit of relating dreams to you, because I know you don't like that kind of thing. Sorry about that. Anyway, bye for now, and I hope you have some interesting Gnostic dreams tonight for yourself.